Amid jaw-dropping testimony by FCC Chairman Brendan Carr this morning, the FCC itself just made an unprompted and scary change. Somewhere, George Orwell, the author of the seminal dystopian novel 1984, is saying, "I told you so." Yes, you did, George. I'm David Reddish. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. To understand this story, we need to review one of the year's biggest scandals. That would be the suspension of late-night host Jimmy Kimmel from ABC following comments he made about Donald Trump's reaction to the death of Charlie Kirk. Just prior to that cancellation, Brendan Carr, head of the Federal Communications Commission, made a chilling threat about pulling ABC's broadcast license because of Kimmel's remarks. Look, here's a brief recap.
In the United States, the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, they're basically like broadcast God. So when the chair of the FCC looks squarely at the ABC network and says,
look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
He's basically suggesting, as he did on that podcast, I have the power to end you and the people who run your content. Or, in real terms, to revoke your broadcast licenses. Because he was really upset about this.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
That was part of Jimmy Kimmel's opening monologue on Monday after conservative podcaster Charlie Kirk was assassinated the week before. He was killed in broad daylight in front of a huge crowd of college students, and Jimmy Kimmel's take on it got him pulled off the air.
The ABC television network is pulling Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air for the foreseeable future.
Outrage from some saying this is caving to political pressure and an assault on free speech.
Lucky for Kimmel, thanks to public outcry, ABC revived his show to record-breaking ratings. He even got his contract extended for another year. But that frightening episode didn't end with Kimmel's return. In fact, it's still going on. Stay with me here. Much of the criticism of the suspension of Kimmel, which is tantamount to firing in Hollywood, traces back to Brendan Carr, the man appointed by Donald Trump to head the FCC in 2017. The FCC is a non-political, independent agency focused on broadcast standards and practices, but because Carr is a Trump appointee, he doesn't hesitate to politicize the agency. Among his recent initiatives was targeting broadcast companies for diversity initiatives and inserting himself into the merger between Skydance and Paramount, which just so happened to coincide with the cancellation of another late-night program hosted by a Trump critic, Stephen Colbert. Earlier today, Carr testified before Congress regarding the issues surrounding his tenure, in particular, the firing of Kimmel. See our other videos for more details on that. For the moment, we want to focus on something he said in his testimony, and a most peculiar move unearthed by CNN. That network now reports that someone at the FCC rewrote the organization's website to conform to Carr's testimony as he delivered it. Take a look.
Where President Trump's FCC chair, Brendan Carr, is testifying and defending himself against charges that he's politicized his agency and using it as a weapon to silence critics of the president. He has a specific argument, and that argument is that the FCC is not an independent agency at all.
Is the FCC an independent agency?
Senator, thanks for that question. I think that
yes or no is all we need, sir. Yes or no, is it independent?
Well, there's a test for this in the law, in the key portion of that
Just
test.
Yes or no, Brendan?
The key portion of that test
Okay,
is...
I'm going to go to Commissioner Trusty. So just so you know, Brendan, on your website, it just simply says, man, the FCC is independent. This isn't a trick question.
Okay, the FCC is
yes
not.
Or no?
Is not.
Okay.
Is not.
So is your website wrong? Is your website lying?
Possibly. The FCC is not an independent agency.
And my smart panel is back, including CNN media analyst Sarah Fisher. So that was going to be one of the questions that I was going to ask you is the FCC an independent agency? What was it supposed to be when it was created, and has it just completely devolved? His argument as chair of the FCC is it's not supposed to be.
It is supposed to be, Dana, and it's supposed to enforce the laws that are set by Congress. Before that hearing, or in the morning, I took a screenshot of the FCC website at 11:52 where it called itself an independent agency. 25 minutes later, that word independent was scrubbed. So clearly, they have made a decision to change their talking points around how they describe this agency. I should note it comes amid a broader context of the Supreme Court basically saying that they intend to allow the president to fire FTC commissioners. Broadly speaking, agencies that were once considered independent don't feel independent anymore.
Once again, we apologize to the spirit of George Orwell for not heeding his warnings. And this is frightening. For the record, this isn't the first time something like this has happened under the Trump administration either. During Trump's first term, someone rewrote Wikipedia entries to conform to the testimony of then Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Those edits were later traced to an IP address in the halls of Congress itself and timed to coincide with Kavanaugh's remarks. But back to Carr. For anyone who still thinks Donald Trump and his drooling ghouls are nonpartisan and not trying to gut independent agencies, well, Brendan Carr just proved you otherwise. He admitted it before the world, and we are seeing the fallout in real time. Thus, the Trump administration is trying to rewrite reality before our eyes. What that could mean for the future of television, Hollywood, or journalism itself remains unclear. Count on us here at Occupy Democrats to keep you up to date on this story, as well as all other developing news out of Washington. But more importantly, count on us to bring you the facts, no matter what the Trump administration or any other right-wing lunatic entity want you to believe. Subscribe now to stay part of the reality-based community. I'm David Reddish.